Slay the world. Hi, Matt. Thank you. Why wasn't Australia language an option? True. Oh, that was pretty. Do it again. Okay, cinematic.
Breathe. Now, reach out. This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. An elegant weapon for a more civilized age.
Look, good against remotes is one thing. Good against the living, that's something else.
This is so slay. Oh my god. Not this being better than some AAA titles right now.
I will let nothing stand in our way.
Do or do not. There is no crime. Now, fulfill your destiny.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Excuse me, I was watching the little cinematic. Way to ruin the ambience. Slay! So yeah, we're gonna play this for the next couple of streams, chat. I'm excited. I got a gift card for the eShop to get this, so like slay moment. But also, if you want to get me a game, you can go over to !gift on Throne to provide any other content like this. We can change the... All right. "24 months, Marshy. That's like 4 babies. Oh my god, I can do math. Is that actually? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. No, I know my math. It's okay. Yeah, that's like 47 babies, actually. Oh my god. So we got episode 4. I don't know what IV means. I only know an IV that goes into my arm. Why did it start me out at 4? Why didn't it start me out at 1? Back to 1, back to 1. Ivy Winters. Because that's how the Star Wars movies are. You start here. What? I just want to let it be known I've never seen a Star Wars movie either. So I'm just playing because I think Princess Leia is kind of a serve, and then like C-3PO and R2-D2. I used to think they used to be like gay robot couple, and then Jabba the Hutt is hot, and then Baby Yoda's cute, and then Yoda, slay, you know. Playing video game I am. Yeah, oh my god, how dare they spoil the movies like this? Like, what the fuck? Maybe tomorrow I'll watch the movies, and then when we come back to play this the next time, I'll be like, oh, whoa. So what? They want me to play this first? Okay. I will. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I got raw dogged by Jabba the Hutt. Sorry, what? Excuse me. It'll say it somewhere in the dialogue. Oh, am I supposed to be reading this? During the battle, rebel spies managed to steal the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star, an armed space station enough to destroy the entire planet. Pursued by the Empire's sinister agents, Princess Leia race home aboard the starship. I'm reading! Come back! Come back, I'm reading! Custodian of the stolen... I'm reading! Come back! Okay.
Did you hear that? They shut down the main reactor. There'll be no escape for the princess this time.
Secure the airlock and prepare the escape pods.
Oh, my coffee enema's kicking in.
Ooh, my coffee enema is
The
kicking.
transmission we received. What is it they've sent us?
Hope. We're over Tatooine. This will be safer with an old friend.
Oh my god, when I do my hair in the next stream like Princess Leia, oh my god, we won.
Tatooine. Then we must head to the escape pods, milady.
They will be scanning them for life.
I walk
You must
around.
avoid.
Hey everyone. Oh my god. Gorgeous gowns, beautiful gowns, beautiful gowns, beautiful gowns. I strut. Oh my goodness. Oh. Excuse me, officers. Escort me to my spaceship. I'm walking very slowly to where I need to go. Taking my time. I'm gonna get some water. I got my water. Is that how she talks? Excuse me, guard. I don't like the way you're looking at me. Bitch. Oh!
Oh my!
I gotta turn it up a little.
Hello, this is your captain speaking. If you were wondering what those sounds were, we are experiencing some invasion-related turbulence. Please stay calm.
I'm not worried. I've got my beautiful gown.
Here! Man your stations! Go,
Everybody's
go, go.
stressed out. I'm just like, I love walking around. I'm enjoying my time. Excuse me. Are these explosive barrels?
Point and shoot. Deep breaths.
Point and shoot. Oh! I pull out a gun. Hi, everyone. Oh, I put it in my coochie. So true.
We're being boarded.
Shut up! Wait, what's happening in the hallway? What's over here? Stormtroopers! Oh my god, is there corner cover? Why is this game nuts?
Stop them!
Oh my god. Wait. Slay moment. This is kind of badass. And Chewbacca! That was my Chewbacca impression. Was it good? Wait, let me try again. Okay. Sir, can you get out of the way? I'm gonna shoot you in the back of the head. Thank you so much, Evacious. Guys! I'm so scared right now. I'm literally shaking.
Ambassador, shall we begin negotiations?
Oh, this poor guy.
In the building!
Oh my god, those poor people are dying. Not the glory hole.
It appears to be stuck.
Vader, get your penis out of the door. What were you doing? They literally just made a glory hole
Your
for...
captain again. The Empire have now fully boarded the ship. You are no longer required to stay calm. Ah!
Let me get a nice nail on. I'm so sorry. I'm not. The stream is 18 plus for a reason. Just saying. They're what? Spoiler! How dare you spoil the Star Wars game? What the fuck? I was just about to watch it. Like, seriously, I was just about to go to the movie theater and watch them. Like, that's so messed up you would spoil it. Wow. How could you, like, spoil a movie that came out, like, 20 years ago? That's so messed up. Like, I'm so upset right now, guys. I like that she can pull out a gun. So true, bestie. Oh! Yo! Her tricks? Oh, backbends. Oh! I do the India Ferrell roll. Oh! Oh! Living la vida loca. Oh! The way this game is so slay. Wait a minute. Drag is not a contact sport. I do the hair flip. Oh! 40 years ago? Star Wars came out 40 years ago? Why do people complain that I haven't seen it then? Hello? It came out 40 years ago. What the fuck do I look like? I'll wait till I'm 40 to go see it. How do I open the door? Find a way to get... Oh. Oh! The way they just stood there for a second. Hey! Oh. Press Y to start an attack combo. Oh! Now try it. They have combos in this game?! They have combos in this game, guys. You're literally lying to me. Game of the year, I think? I fear? I think this is game of the year.
That's why we must get these plans to Tatooine fast. Where's that droid?
Oh, bitch, she's fucking him up! Oh, yes, Leah. Oh, watch this, bitch. Oh, yeah, get him. Oh, fuck him up. Oh, bitch. Oh, combos. Oh my god, Bayonetta in this game. Oh my god, we won. How do I build stuff? Oh. Who spilled the drinks? Oh my god, they're coffee. I mean, soda. I mean, okay. Oh my god, I'm impressed, y'all. Like, I don't know if y'all, like, have y'all played the Lego games growing up? Like, I played the Lego games, all of them, when I grew up. Like, they were my shit. Like, they were probably the only video games I could play. Because, like, I couldn't play horror games because I was scared. So, it was, like, this and, like, Kirby Air Ride and shit. But, like, this is, like, insane. An insane upgrade to the series of Lego games. This is, like, so good. And we just started. Like, I'm impressed already.
Okay, it looks safe now.
I don't think it's safe,
Captain,
officer.
Please don't say that again.
I like the voice acting. I thought the grunting was stupid. Hipla Pisces. Wait, love that username. Also, I'm a Pisces, so hey. Welcome in. I know, isn't she slaying right now? When we get her bikini look, that's gonna slay. Oh. I would die. I'd want Batman first, because I thought the Batman games were good, but I don't really care. Like, they're all pretty good, so. But, like, honestly, right now, insane. Hello?
Let's get out of here!
I watched them all die, so true.
I need backup! Run, people, get moving!
Thinking about when... Oh my god, I just remembered this memory. I don't know why I just remembered it. When me and my ex-boyfriend, you know, redacted, we went to Disney and we went to the Star Wars land. We both hadn't watched Star Wars, so we were just there to, like, immerse in the ambience or whatever. Like, immerse ourselves. And the stormtroopers, you know, at Disney, they kind of go up to you and they do stuff, and they, like, kind of, like push you a little bit. They, like, kind of push your buttons. I remember them coming up to me and surrounding me, and I went, oh, not this. I'm about to get hate crimed, and I walked away. Oh my god. It was so funny.
Continue.
Let's put the Empire's plans to good use then.
The actors are probably like, oh shit, we're about to get fired. Oh, there's options? I want a water cannon. That's so cool.
With some water, I could put out those fires.
Wait, this is so cool. Where's Darth Vader? Has Darth Vader ever taken off his mask? Oh, Miss Leah, I just saw up your skirt. Oh my goodness. What am I riding right now? Oh When this beats Elden Ring for Game of the Year, we won. Oh my god! Oh my god, we won! Oh, I'm not supposed to do that? Ooh, I gotta pee, y'all. Anybody that's enjoying this, I'm gonna be playing this for the next couple days, so if you want to come back tomorrow or the next day, I'm gonna be playing this for the next couple streams. Just letting everybody know. Oh, a little puzzle. Wait, so he takes his mask off when he's alone? Why by himself? He sleeps in a healing tank? But I want to know if he's sexy under there. Oh. Not me dying.
This is your old captains.
Is he sexy? Is Darth Vader sexy under the mask?
Empire, a warm welcome by surrendering peacefully.
He's burnt and charred. That doesn't answer my question. Is he sexy or not?
We need to cut the power to the store. Where are the power cells? Hurry!
He has missing limbs? That still doesn't answer my question. Is he sexy or not?
You remember the password for this thing, 318? 318? I'm 764. You're kidding. Where's 318? I thought you were 318. Move in on the rebel!
I don't know who that is. The only Hayden I know is Hayden Pantarini. And she's from Until Dawn. Slay. Poppy, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Hi, your lip color is gorgeous. Thanks, it's ColourPop.
Your ship has been boarded by the Empire, Your Highness.
We are well aware of that, Admiral.
You're trapped. They're coming.
He's hot. Who the fuck is Darth Vader? Hold on. Hayden who? Hayden. Oh, okay. Oh. That's Darth Vader? Interesting. Oh, he's hot. You're saying this is Darth Vader? That guy? Wait, are you serious? That's Darth Vader. I would suck the sword and go into space for that dick. What? Who said that? You guys are sick in the head. Why did you say that, guys? That is so messed up. Who would say something like that? I gotta go to the bathroom. Sorry, I had to go pee-pee. I will get the lip color now. The lip color I'm wearing is... Not the laugh. The white chicks laugh. I'm heading to bed. It's lovely always to vibe and lurk. I hope everyone has a lovely day or night. Thanks, babe. Considering how good I'm enjoying this game, even though we just started, I'll probably stream tomorrow as well. And because I can't stream on Sunday this weekend. So we'll probably stream today, Friday, and Saturday. And then I'll take Sunday off and we'll be back. The lip color, for anybody that was asking, the lip color is from ColourPop and it's called Get Money. Apparently it's called Get Money. And And it's the ColourPop Luxe Velvet. The color shade is literally Get Money, I guess. But I used like a nude lip pencil before. It didn't really do a lot though, but I always line my lips before I do it.
That way! Look out! To the right! Hang on. Am I projected backwards?
You can double jump.
Watch out over there! By the depths of the Great Unganus Trench, they just keep coming.
Can you move? Oh, a trampoline. She's a ground pound. Slay moment. Keep your mask on, sir. We're still in a pandemic. Just saying. I know, it gives you really good nostalgia, but it's a new game and it looks amazing. Excuse me, I was adjusting myself. So don't shoot me. Die! Die! Die!
We
Bye,
need
Marshy.
to release the emergency levers for this door.
I love her strutting around in a gown. It's so iconic. I like her smirk as well. She goes... Die. Don't run at me like that. What is your problem? Oh, the little thing. It's like a magic helper ball.
Keep walking.
No one is getting off this ship now.
Who is that?
Not so fast. Look, it's my R2 unit. Time to get these plans to
R2D2.
Tatooine.
My king. Oh.
R2D2, where are you?
I always thought C-3PO and Squidward were the same person growing up.
The Death Star plans are not in the main computer.
What have you done with those plans?
Secret mission? What plans? What are you talking about? Oh dear, this is such a mess.
Yay! I get to play!
Wait a minute, where are you going?
Yay! I slide around. Wait, does he get combos? Oh! R2-D2 combos! Bitch! 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 We take these. Hey, yo! Ow.
Hey, who's that? It's just a couple of droids. They scare you, buddy? Of course not. Nothing scary about a sentient collection of metal and wires. Fire alarm! Everyone, run! In a disorderly fashion! What are they gonna do, huh? Translate us to sleep?
How rude!
What am I doing? Oh. Oh, they weren't bad guys? I didn't have to kill them? Oh, that's a shame. I didn't mean to. No one saw that. I didn't do that.
Escape pods? I'm going to regret this.
Ah! Excuse me. Wait, no, go back. Keep going. Wait, you can counter moves? Wait. Wait, why was that Stormtrooper kinda... This game's so silly. I'm in such a silly mood. Oh yes, do a number. What was that? Oh, he's listening to me. Just leave him. Just leave him. What's in here? Oh. Can we shut that? I don't want it to fall on us. Can I break it? Slay. Why does he have to do everything? Oh, because I don't have arms. R2-D2 doesn't have arms, lol.
Hey, you're not permitted in there. It's restricted. You'll be deactivated for sure.
Oh. Oh. I wasn't understanding the puzzle before, now I understand it.
That's funny. The damage doesn't look as bad.
Hi, last round.
Oh.
I don't know what
Did you
you're
say
talking
R2-D2
about.
was
I'm
in
a
Squidward?
member of
Yeah, I
the
did.
Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away. She must have hidden the plans in the escape pod. Send a detachment down to...
We're going to get tattoos?
What a desolate place this is. What makes you think there are settlements over there?
I wish this had shoulder
What are you
pads.
talking about?
It'd be hot. Free prey unlocked. Oh, the music. I'm gonna turn this up. It's like really quiet.
Fine, let's go that way. But mark my words, we'll be malfunctioning within a day. Oh, do be quiet. I have just about had enough of you, you nearsighted scrap pile.
Ooh, there's skill trees. Ooh, cool. Yeah, I'm going faster because I got an upgrade. Hi, OMG Mia. Hi, little guy. Yeah, speedy sprint. Sprint more quickly while exploring the open galaxy. Fast build, increase the speed of ensembling stuff. Counter cash receives studs for successful counters. Extra health, increase the health by blah blah. Ship enchantments. Increase the attack power of ships. Oh wow. Holy shit. Oh my god, and there's like stuff for specific, like, I guess these are like, I don't want to say, are they like alliances, races? Like, what are these? It's like kind of like the clan they're in, I guess. You look insane in the best way. I kind of did like Shotzi Blackheart, that green-haired wrestler I showed you. Like, she has darker green hair, but I just wanted to wear green hair today. But we're playing Lego Star Wars. We played Tomodachi Life, Mia. You missed it, but I gave you a new outfit. And a new room. What's Luke's planet called? I have no idea. Oh, cheat codes! They still have cheat codes! That's funny! What does that word say? Baguette? I said the bread. Not another word. Oh, you can do the mumble mode. Look, you can make it so they don't talk. That's funny. That's cool. That's a nice feature. I have not been slaying tonight. Yeah, you get it for free. It says get the download on the free mumble mode. Can we talk about how I've been here for 2 years? It makes my head hurt. It doesn't even feel like 2 years. You can have gay? Y'all, we can be gay. Look, there's gay stuff. Look! I want it now! What's the code for the gay? How do we do it? Can you type in codes? Hold on. Star Wars... The Skywalkers. I want the gay one. Oh, you can't. There's a what? Oh, I thought you were being serious. Oh, you can't type in codes. You have to actually unlock these. 8 million studs, though? That seems like a lot. What is that? Oh. Wow. Not the old lady. Wait, that's Jujubee! You weren't joking. Yes. Can I, like, make it so I've read all of this? Because it's... It's gonna make me mad seeing the notification. Seeing that little bar. It's okay. Good night. Mwah. Alright. Oh, that's fixed. Side missions. 140 side missions. 731 puzzles. 38 trials. 10 challenges. 225 mini kits and level 135 level challenges. Insane. Is there not like a, like, I looked at it all thing? Like, mark all as seen? There's not. Okay, well it makes me mad, so that's my complaint right now. Anyways.
Is there a way through? A closer look may be in order.
What was that?
Goodness me.
Luke! Take these two over to the garage, will you? I want them cleaned up before dinner.
Oh. All right, come on.
Hey, what are you trying to push on us?
Well, my little friend, you got something
Oh, they're
jammed in here
cute.
real good. Were you on a Star Cruiser or...
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
What's this?
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
He says that he is the property of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it is a private message for him.
Hey, whoa, just where do you think you're going?
They're cute. I like them. Oh, so I can't play as the gorgeous gown. We lost. Now I have to play as a man. We lost. Just kidding. Fine.
That little droid's gonna cost me a lot of trouble.
He excels at that, sir.
Okay. I follow. The chosen one.
There's
Wait,
a droid
so
on the scanner.
his name's not
Might be the
Obi-Wan?
RT unit.
I want to explore. Oh, look how cute! Oh, look at him! Oh my god, I'm in love! What is this called? Is that like a first-person view? I want to get a close-up. Oh! They're so cute! These guys remind me of Shy Guys. Don't they kind of look like Shy Guys? I'm like Mario. I'm impressed. This is looking good. Can we get a head count? How many people have seen Star Wars and how many people haven't? I am one of the Star Wars never watchers. Am I the only one here? Yeah, I know me and Bruxter haven't seen it. Never will. I'm honestly probably gonna watch one tonight. I'm gonna watch the movie we're playing tonight.
My apologies, sir. That R2 unit has always been a problem.
Uncle Owen's not gonna be happy if I lose it. Let's go get him back.
Can I play as R2-D2? Oh no, I can't.
What's wrong with him now?
He says there are several creatures approaching.
Sand people.
What? Do they hurt us? Oh, they do. Okay. They live right next to him, though. What do you mean they hurt you?
Hello there. You're fortunate to be all in one piece.
Hello.
Ben? Ben Kenobi? Boy, am I glad to see you.
Tell me, young Luke, what brings you out this far?
This little droid. He tells me he's looking for his former master. Obi-Wan Kenobi? Is he a relative of yours?
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Oh, you know him?
Well, of course I know him. He's me.
What? I Strat.
Step inside when you're ready. I'll answer what questions you may have.
You fought in the Clone Wars?
Yes, I was once a Jedi Knight, the same as your father. Which reminds me.
How did
Oh, does he have daddy
die?
issues too? Oh, he does. Join the club!
What is it?
Your father's lightsaber. Now let's see if we can't figure
A
out what
wig?
you are, my little friend.
General Kenobi, I have placed information vital to the survival of the rebellion into the memory systems of this R2 unit. My father will know how to retrieve it. You must see this droid safely delivered to him on Alderaan. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
You must learn the ways of the Force.
I've got to get home. It's late. I'm in for it as it is.
Really?
We just got outside.
Uncle Owen! Emperor! There's nothing for me here now. I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father.
Ready. I don't watch the movies, I just do this. Hi, Jing.
Come, we must travel to Mos Eisley. There we will find ourselves a pilot who will take us to Alderaan.
Me.
We can take my speeder.
I like the way these guys look. They're cool. Ooh, yes, looks. Love this headpiece. Wow. This game just looks beautiful. There's so much to do. I really hope they do a Batman one. Ooh, that would be good. I would shit my panties. Speaking of Batman, I'm going to be doing a certain look from a certain character at PAX East. A cosplay. Very excited to debut it. Oh yes, I'm very excited. What's in here? Oh, I can pick up it? Ooh, spooky.
Wow, that's amazing!
Hey, I did it. Fall damage? Nope. Is there a Lego Tomb Raider? Not yet, but that would actually be a really good addition to the series. But I guess kind of Indiana Jones is like kind of like the counterpart to Laura. Anthony, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. I'm wearing nipple covers, so if anything comes out, we're not gonna get in trouble. Am I supposed to hit something? I think this is just the loading screen. I don't have to hit anything. Okay, just making sure I'm not like just sitting here for no reason.
Mos Eisley Spaceport. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Do you really think we're gonna find a pilot here that'll take us to Alderaan?
I know of a cantina. Many talented pilots can be found there. But watch your step. It's not the most welcoming of locales.
Oh, the cantina, slay.
Halt. Let's see your identification. And bring those droids over here.
An Imperial checkpoint. Now what?
I'll handle this, Luke.
Mind tricks. Ha! Oh my god, that's so cool.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Ah! Slay. Legotis. Hello,
I can't
Dis.
understand how we got past those troopers. I thought we were done for.
Ooh, slay, Blue Lady.
On the weak-minded. Now, let's make our way to that cantina. We need to find our pilot.
Okay. I enter. The music!
Hey, your droids. They'll have to wait outside. We don't want them here.
I
should
twerk.
Inquire about a pilot to take us to Alderaan.
All right, let's ask around.
Best soundtrack. Like, probably one of the top 10 of all time best, like, soundtrack. Oh, good morning, house music. Oh, look at him. He was fucking it up. Oh, they have a live band. I kill them. Just kidding. I would never do that. I like exploring.
A what? A pilot? Pilot? Nah, we don't serve pilot here, sorry.
Oh, I wasn't asking for a drink. I was looking for... Okay.
You seem like a reasonable fella. Join us, friend. We're discussing how Hydra shovels actually have nothing to do with water.
Whatever that means.
Don't get on that hairy fella's bad side. At least if you like your limbs in all their usual places.
Who? Who's the hairy fella? Oh!
Someone who can help us get to Alderaan. You can pay. Take me to
See, I did that perfectly. My impression's spot on.
It doesn't like you.
I'm sorry. I'll stay out of his way.
Thank you, house
I
music.
don't like you either.
I'll be careful then.
You'll be dead.
Oh, let's calm down. Hey, hey, hey! Not a bar fight. Bar fight. Bar queen. Bar queen. I'm sorry, I don't mean to hit you. I did. Who's that?
Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon. Chewie here tells me you're looking for passage to the Alderaan system.
I want him
Yes,
so bad.
indeed. If it's a fast ship.
She's fast enough for you, old man. What's the cargo?
Only passengers, myself, the boy, 2 droids, and no questions asked.
Okay, you guys got yourselves a ship. We'll leave as soon as you're ready. Docking Bay 94.
94.
Hey, yo, you can't sit like that. Look, they're gay. Oh, they're gay. Look, he has his arm around him. Oh. I smile. I'll get myself a drink, sir. This girl dancing. Me. Ooh, get it. Ooh. Ooh, she's fucking it up. Oh. Where you going? This wig? Oh, it's a hat. I thought that was their hair. Hi, citizen. Oh. I kind of look like this.
All right, let's go find this docking bay.
Excuse me, sir, but according to R2, Docking Bay 94
Sorry.
is on the other side of this settlement.
Okay,
Luke,
let me
make
go
sure
there.
you are well prepared before we leave.
Not me thinking this was an animal. It's literally a lawn chair. I definitely need glasses. Can I jump on this? It's a little trampoline.
Hey, don't be a stranger. We'll have something you need.
Dobby! Sorry. Thanks for the follow. Is it Rashi? Hunk of junk. True, whatever that means. Oh, I'm so hungry, that's why I keep yawning. I hungies, so I get tired. I get tie-tie.
What a piece of junk!
She may not look
rude.
like much, but she's got it where it counts, kid.
Oh.
Chewie, what is this? I told you to get her ready. A late lunch? We gotta be somewhere.
Stop that ship!
Oh, calm down! Why are these men fighting? What am I
We
playing?
gotta get this thing ready to fly. Now!
Ow! What the hell? Oh. Why is everybody just sitting around? We're gonna. Oh! Guys, you're in the way of my shots. Idiot men.
Get the cockpit, the cannon, and the sensor dish.
The what pit? Did he just say cock?
Yes, R2. We can get the stair lift into position.
He just said pee-pee. Peacock. Sucking dick and cock. You did it at my birthday dinner. Dylan, thank you for the follow. Oh, we climb up.
The Falcon ain't gonna fix herself.
Well, it's not my ship, so... I want to go up. Okay, I guess it just doesn't let me go up. Rude. Hi, Chewie. Chewie Slay. Oh. I think there's another man. What? Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. So what would you like me to do with this information? Ew, it's dirty. I cut a hole. Oh. Oh, oh my, oh.
Be careful with that cockpit, and don't lose my dice.
Be careful with that cock.
Are there always this many stormtroopers in Mos Eisley?
I don't know. I usually try and avoid them.
I don't think anyone chose to live on this planet.
I see him. Engage. Take him down.
We must fix the ship. What? Oh. Press the button. Okay, we did it. Where's it going?
Just gonna throw trash at them? Get the cannon back on!
Cannon?
You're a bit too busy for pleases and thank yous, pal. Nearly ready. Chewie, keep at it!
I just killed R2-D2 by accident. Oops. Do these stormtroopers ever mind their business? This isn't for you to fight. Get away. Oh, air combos. Let's go. Are they still attacking? There's more? Where are they coming from? The way they fly and get like hurt is so funny to me. I keep shooting R2-D2 thinking he's an enemy. I'm so sorry. I'm so fucked. So, what do we do with this puzzle? Right? Where does it need to go? Hello? Hi, safety. Oh, does it just need to go right here? LOL. That's very slay of me. We won. That's over here. I blow up the ship by accident. What then?
Chewbacca, the new sensor dish is ready for installation.
You guys suck.
Unless Chewie can fix that dish.
Haha, owned. Shut the door! Oh, they're all the way over. They're everywhere! Get to the pit. Can I use the force on them? That's really not the button I want to use. Fucking noob. Oh. Oh. That takes care of that. Oh! I did that to myself, I'm an idiot. Hi, Laphni. We're just vibing. We're having a good time with this game. I know, I noticed that the stormtroopers, there's women and people of color in this, which is nice. More diversity.
Get that ramp.
Firing on target.
Won't last much longer if we don't get that ramp down. Are you doing repairs or rebuilding the whole ship?
I did not mean to do that. Where are the rest of them? Owie, 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 owie. Oh! That was a nice move. He did like a backflip. I don't mean to do that. I fuck it up every time. I'm being a sweaty gamer playing Lego Star Wars. Everyone into the ship!
Chewie, get us out of here!
They were the droids we were looking for.
Go strap yourselves in. I'm gonna make the jump to light speed.
Huh? What?
Looks
Oh.
like we're coming up on Alderaan.
What?
Alderaan. Oh.
Where is it?
Destroyed by the Empire.
He's heading for that small moon.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
We're caught in a tractor beam. It's pulling us in.
Oh no.
You can't win, but there are alternatives to fighting.
Oh, we have to sneak in. Yeah, it's new. It came out a couple days
There's no one on
ago.
board, sir.
Send a scanning crew aboard. I want every part of this ship checked.
Yes, sir.
I sense something. A presence I have not felt since.
Huh?
No, that wasn't it. Yes, no? Yes, that's... No? Yes. So familiar.
This is ridiculous. Even if I could take off, I'd never get past the tractor beam.
Leave that to me.
Oh my god, we're undercover.
Given I am not disguised like you are, it would be wise for me to keep my distance from this fellow, to avoid raising suspicion.
I'm a stormtrooper. Trooper. Aw, man. I need a snack. What do I have? That is a snack worth eating. Make some popcorn, I think. I'm very impressed so far. Like, really impressed. How's everybody's night? I'm making my popcorn, so I don't want to... Not Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova, you want to... Remember when, like, the stimulus packages came out and Fashion Nova was like, hey, everyone, use your stimulus on us. That was camp. The popcorn is popping. Do you guys like kettle corn? I love kettle corn. You play Animal Crossing on your stream sometimes. I'm a new follower, so I don't know what kind of games you usually play. I play everything. I've played Animal Crossing before, but honestly, it's died out. We play all the Animal Crossings, though. Like, we're trying to play all the Animal Crossings through the generations. Like, on the 3DS, on the Wii, on the GameCube. We play it all, but story-based games are usually where it's at. I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back. But also welcome in. I'm just putting my popcorn right there so I don't have to pee with it. I think I actually made kettle corn by accident because it smells like kettle corn. Slurp ma. Gone but not forgotten. Slurp my ass. I wish we had partners so I could like make emotes or like stuff like that. Like obscure references. Ooh. Ooh, bitch, this popcorn looks good as fuck. Oh. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Hit the sexy music. Ah. I do like pepper on my popcorn, though. I don't know why. Like a little spice in my life. Okay, this is giving what it needs to give. I'm making popcorn now, BRB. Slay moment! I just want to make the popcorn sit in front of me so I can just like chow down on it. Hold on. Oh, it fell out. Oh. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls play Lego games. And it's true! I need to open it from above. Trying to open this. Okay, perfect. Slay. You think I can get this in my mouth for a try? Nope. Okay. Still eating it. Oh, I don't know any Star Wars references. I don't even know the characters' names. Hi, Skinny Legend. I missed. Oh! Do you really work at a library? 'Cause reading is what? Puppets. Hi. Hey. What about popcorn makes you sit there and eat an entire bag? Like, why does popcorn just do that? Is there something in popcorn? What is she hiding? Thank you so much for the follow.
Do you think these uniforms will let us use those terminals? I was supposed to report to the control room, but this stupid door.
Wait, I could sit here and eat this entire bag of popcorn right now.
Where's a maintenance droid when you need one?
I wish we could watch movies on Twitch together. That'd be so fun. I mean, people do it, but you get in trouble. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I mean, yeah, but people have to have Amazon Prime to watch it. Is your blood sugar low?
Guess we get to test out the thermal detonators this suit is packing.
So true. How did R2-D2 just sneak on and nobody said anything? Did that happen in the movies? Oh! What was that? Wait, what was that? It was like a little stormtrooper on a bike. Oh, I miss it. I probably look like an animal right now, just chowing down on this popcorn. They did a keyboard cat reference.
What can I do for you today?
Hi, Lily.
He says he has found the main controls to the power beam that is holding the ship here.
I must go alone. The Force will be with you. Always.
Princess, she's here?
Princess?
I'm afraid she's scheduled to be terminated.
But we've got to do something.
Not the love triangle.
We'll meet you back at the ship.
Oh, goodness me.
Not her being terminated.
All turbo lifts and primary doors are offline until the rebel intruders are found.
You're our prisoner, and we're taking you to the detention center. Got it? Because we're gonna rescue the princess. That's why. This helmet just doesn't sit right. Jeff picked up mine by mistake again, so I gotta have his.
Oh, we're pretending to get
But Jeff was on schedule.
arrest Chewie.
Power to all turbo lift systems
transporting
shut
the
down
sturdy Wookiee
until you
himself.
Hi, Nick.
find those rebels.
How are you doing? Happy to see ya.
They were right there. Will you give it a rest? Let's just get our janitorial punishment out of the way and move on with our lives.
I know, I'm having a blast.
Find the intruders.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it just came out, you know. I have no idea because I've never seen Star Wars, so I'm kind of just doing whatever.
All lift access is prohibited until they are found.
Why does it keep telling me that Chewie can do it?
Lousy Imperial equipment never worked right.
Yes, I think because people were saying that's how the order of the movies came out. So I'm doing this one first. If there are kernels in my teeth, no, they're not. You didn't see anything.
If one more person asks me when they can use the turbo lift again, I'm going to launch them into space.
And people were groaning,
Once all the
please.
doors are back online, of course.
I'm glad you enjoyed it though. Like, I'm honest, I think it's really good. Oh, here we go.
Look, a plan B.
Did not mean to do that, lol.
I'm missing half-price appetizers at the Hard Heart Cantina in Sector N1 for this. Find those rebels!
I'm trying to focus on my popcorn, honestly. Oh! My dumbass. Joey, I need you to move, honey. There we go.
Why won't you listen? Find those rebels now! Remember what Mother told you. To get respect, you must first respect yourself. I am strong, independent. Wait, is this still on?
So Vader was all like, "Be the Death Star plans," and this guy was like, "We're on a diplomatic mission." Rebels. They crack me up. Did Vader do the whole lifty up force thing? Yeah. He's so righteous.
Not them talking
Orders
shit.
from Vader himself. No one is to use the turbo lift until the reported intruders are located. So, get walking.
Finally! Cover me for 2 minutes while I use the refresher. Just keep going on about the intruders.
way of telling all the troopers to stand down. Well, they ain't gonna listen to us.
Why not? Oh, we're on camera. Hey, YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. We break everything while everybody's watching us on camera. So true. Hit that bell! That's so slay house music. That's very you.
This is never gonna work.
The intruders have been found and are being punished for coming on our moon ship thingy. So everyone can start using the elevators again.
You heard Lord Vader. Let's get these back up and running. The turbo lifts are back on. Let's get to the canteen before they run out of trays again. I can't believe it actually worked. You and me both. Maybe I should be an actor.
Did they actually do that in the movie?
So this should take
How did they trick them to stand down?
Right, Chewie? Prisoner transfer from cell block 1138.
Why? Who is he?
He's one mean Wookiee, sir. Real arm pulley. You definitely want him locked up.
No, this is how it actually happened. I'm gonna believe it
Have
this
no
way.
record of a transfer?
Really? Well, we can let him go and he can pull our arms off if you'd like.
Very well. Hurry up. Open the detention center and get the Wookiee secured.
It's the intruders! Attack!
Look out! He's loose! He's gonna pull us apart! Go get him!
Got ya.
Everything's under control. Situation normal. What happened? Had a slight weapons malfunction, but everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now, thank you. How are you? We're sending a squad up. Negative. We have a reactor leak here now. Give us a few minutes to lock it down. Large leak, very dangerous. Who is this? What's your operating number? My number is 2464. 2464. 2464? That's my operating number. You pulling my leg, pal? You some kind of spy. Some kind of boring conversation anyway. Luke, we're gonna have company!
Why aren't they on their stormtrooper uniforms? Are they off the clock? I run. Queen.
Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. Hey, come on!
Can't get out that way.
This is some rescue. Into the garbage chute, flyboy.
Oh, I remember this.
Get in there, you big furry oaf! I don't care what you smell! What an incredible smell you've discovered!
Ooh,
It could be worse.
it's worse.
Uh-oh.
Come in, 3PO!
3PO! Where
Look out! What is that thing?
Its eye! Hit it in the eye!
That's scary. Oh, boss fight! Oh my god, cool, there's boss fights. Ah! Someone help me!
One thing's for sure, we're all gonna be a lot thinner.
Oh, he's gonna get me!
Worse, the walls are coming in again!
We're gonna get crushed!
What's it doing? Hey, everyone, look out!
Owie.
Look out, the walls are moving in again.
But I can play as Leah.
3PO!
Slay.
Will you shut off all the garbage smashers on the detention level?
Oh! Got him.
3PO, do you copy?
Princess Leia.
Hey, there are people down here, you know.
We have to stop these walls. Let's build something to jam them.
Oh, I have to do something, or we're gonna die. It didn't work.
Comlink? Oh my! I turned it off. Curse my metal body, my poor master.
3PO, we're all right! Hey, open the pressure maintenance hatch on unit number 3263827!
Oh, thank the stars on it! Wait for me!
Seen that new VT-16?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to bother you, he just...
What was that?
What was that?
Nah, it's nothing.
Maybe it's another drill.
Come, my friends.
What was
Must
that?
be swift and silent.
Well,
JG, thank you so much for the follow. Just regular, but I do like kettle corn a lot. And I have pepper and stuff on it. But I need to stop. I'm gonna eat the whole fucking bag. I'm so hungry though. I had a bagel for breakfast and that was it. I got right on stream. What am I playing? Oh.
You made a good blend.
I know, I need to. I just always forget to
What is
eat
it, my
before I
little friend?
stream or while I'm
He
streaming.
says the tractor beam controls are just up ahead, but we will need to bypass some security to get there.
I just feel bad like eating in front of people. I feel like it's like weird.
Superb. The tractor beam controls are this way.
Oh!
I mustn't be seen. My Jedi skills should be of assistance here.
whatever.
Backup required immediately!
Oh.
Such a long way down. Lord Vader should look at installing safer access.
Good night, kitten.
Presence I have not felt since... No, that wasn't it.
Thank you, Nick.
Yes, that's... No, I don't know. Aha! I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again, at last. The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
There she is.
You came in that thing? You're braver than I thought.
Nice. Come on.
So true.
It's them. Blast them.
This is what happened.
Get back to the ship!
The Falcon has to be around here somewhere.
I'm showing down. Okay, I ate the popcorn. We're done. Not rated M Lego games. That's literally never gonna happen. It's silly. Not Lego sex. Do you think there's not safe for work Lego art? I mean, probably. Excuse me. You think so? I mean, there definitely is. I'm looking at it right now. Oh my goodness.
I'm allergic to Wookiees. Deal with them, troopers.
We'll get it open. Keep your hair on.
Literally get pwned. Oh my god, I can't wait till we meet Yoda. Get pwned.
Troopers, take aim!
Great. I thought they might have run out of stormtroopers.
Ugh. There's a kernel in my throat. Give it to me.
I've got it. Come on, Chewie. Let's go.
Idiot. Where are we going? Twink run. Silly little twink. I insert my VHS tape.
The Falcon's our only way out of here. Come on.
Han, you copy? We can't get this door open. We're gonna need your help.
Copy that, kid. Hold on.
Take him down.
Imperial tech is always so overcomplicated. Let's just smash it.
Is it gonna work?
This'll get the door open. Somehow.
Will it? Are you sure? It's still not open. Slay. Can I play as her now? I don't want to play as a man anymore. Slay!
No princess, no reward. So be careful.
Troopers, stop them at once.
No.
The princess! Don't let her escape!
I will. I will be going somewhere. Not here. I'm gonna go get a new dress.
How are we going to get those force fields down?
The console! We were able to use them earlier when we were dressed as stormtroopers.
Well. Get your outfit on, girl.
Are you two still here? There is no way a couple of rebels will disable an Imperial force field.
I will disable the force field. Hiya! Do I have to get a shirt? My mind.
Well, I never.
You'll never breathe again, that's right! Owned. Can you pick it up? I want to be you. Thanks. Pretty lady.
Everyone fire!
Do you mind? Get off me! Oh, that was my teammate. Oops. Oh well. Why can't I get through the door? Open the door. Oh. What are we gonna do?
Wrong turn.
There's no lock. They're gonna get through.
Open fire! I see him. Engage. Over there.
What are we supposed to do?
Good luck.
The girl boss doing the work. So true.
Ben?
Your powers are weak, old man.
If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
No!
What? Why did he do that?
Run, Luke, run!
Not a bad bit of rescuing, huh?
At least the information in R2 is still intact.
It's not over yet.
I like that it spells out R2 instead of R2. It does ARTOO instead of R2. Oh my god. Oh, this is very disorienting. Oh my. Oh, I'm getting motion sick.
We need to get this information to the rebel base on Yavin 4 now.
And what information is that exactly?
The technical readouts of that battle station. I only hope that when the data is analyzed a week...
Slay. Very bright. Hurting my eyes a little bit. Am I supposed to do something? Oh. What are we doing? We're just kind of standing here? Okay. Yavin.
I have new information, if you're still interested in that stuff.
Welcome. It's good to see you're still alive.
It's pretty
Please,
here.
Hurry to the command room. The generals are eagerly awaiting those plans.
Very pretty.
Right this way. They're waiting for you inside.
Okay.
The princess is here. Everyone, look busy.
What is she the princess of? Like, is she that important? Like, the princess of the universe? That's like a lot of pressure. No, they did. It looks good, right? And this is on the Switch, too.
You brought the plans? Quick, we must analyze them immediately.
Who are you? Who are you people?
The battle station is heavily shielded and carries a
Jan?
firepower greater than half the Starfleet. An analysis of the plans provided by Princess Leia has demonstrated a weakness. Huh? A small one-man fighter should be able to penetrate the outer defense. Man your ships, and may the Force be with you.
Lock S-foils in attack position.
This is Red 5. I'm going in.
Right with you, boss.
It'll be just like Beggar's Canyon back home. Fighters coming in, point 3.
Luke, trust your feelings.
Oh! Oh, I'm not good at driving. Oh, I'm not good at driving.
This is Red Leader. We won't be going anywhere with those turbo lasers firing down on us. Do your thing, Squadron.
Hang on, R2! Direct hit!
What are we doing? Where are we? What is happening?
For the rebellion! Another one down! All right, I took out those turbo lasers.
Good work, but the job isn't over yet. Stay focused.
Wait, so like, this is how big the Death Star is?
Red 5 here. I've got you covered.
That's a lot.
This space station is huge. Look out for more times moving on your position.
We need help with these TIE fighters. Do you copy?
Am I gonna die?
There's so many. I just have to focus.
I'm trying, but there is a lot.
Aha! I'll take them myself. Cover me.
Yes, sir.
What?
Luke, look out, kid.
Ruh-roh. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I don't like this, where this took this turn in this video game. I don't like this. No.
The central exhaust is closed when the others are functioning. We have to get it open. Oh, and Lord Vader appears to have joined the proceedings.
I crash. Oops. I'm about to crash. I'm about to crash.
Shoot the smaller exhaust loop.
Not bad. What is this? What am I supposed to do there? Oh, oh! I'm hashtag slaying as I die.
You don't have all day to shoot the smaller exhaust.
Excuse you. Is this not what we're supposed to do? Can you all leave me alone? Why is it not letting me? Oh, I have to get like some certain type of ammo? I don't know where to get that. Oh! There we go.
Get a torpedo down there now! Keep moving, Red 5. The main exhaust is at the end of this trench.
Great shot, kid! That was 1 in a million!
We just blew that whole thing up?
The Force will be with you, always.
We blew that entire ship up? Hundreds of thousands of people were on there. That's so camp. When we murder like thousands of people, oh my god, that's so camp. Oh, that was the first movie? Wait, the first movie you literally blow up a spaceship at the end of the movie and then it ends? Roll credits? Are you serious? That's kind of brutal. I remember this one. I remember this one. So there's clearly more than... There's more than just a trilogy. How many Star Wars movies are there? So there's the first one, the second one, and then this one? The Empire Strikes Back and the Return of the Jedi. Does it just go like this way? The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, Rise of the Skywalker. Too many. Wow. Is there like a tier list? Do people like think that one movie is better than the other? I want to see that. Nine for Skywalker Saga, but 10 in total. 11 in total? There's 11 movies. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Is today Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday. I am actually gonna end stream, because we are streaming Friday and Saturday. So I'm gonna call this an early night because we are gonna stream longer tomorrow and on Saturday. So we will have a lengthy stream of just this. Like, literally just this. So. Oh, never mind, I'm leaving, please. I look so pretty. Thanks for coming. For coming? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Who do we raid? Who do we raid? I'll be back tomorrow and Saturday because I'm not going to be streaming Sunday and I won't be streaming on Thursday next week. And also PAX is coming. So take my streams with, you know, a little more love than usual, just because, like, I'm trying my best. So I appreciate it. But I will see y'all tomorrow. We're gonna do tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Bye, everybody. Give Harming my love.